Welcome back to 1983 as we continue our look at the G.I. Joe toy line by Hasbro. Last time we took a look at one of G.I. Joe's main enemies with the Cobra mercenary, Major Blood. This time we're getting away from figures and checking out one of G.I. Joe's main troop transports with the Amphibious Personnel Carrier, or the APC, here on Creed's Collection. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Creed's Collection. Today we're taking a look at the Amphibious Personnel Carrier, or the APC, from the 1983 G.I. Joe toy line by Hasbro. The APC is a ground and water transport for the G.I. Joe team. It has 6 off-road flotation tires, a 1.5-inch armored torpedo-resistant hull, a canvas personnel cover, watertight hull entry hatch, an emergency aid/toolkit located in the tailgate, and a 50mm single-fire auto-control cannon. It can carry 28 Joes into battle and look awesome doing it. And now that we know a bit more about the APC, let's take a closer look. The APC is by far one of the coolest looking vehicles in the G.I. Joe line. The canvas top is amazing, as is the 6-wheeled design. Also, there's a door here, but it doesn't actually open. You have to put the characters in and out of the back. The stickers really add to the realism of the piece. I like the United States logo here, and of course the G.I. Joe logo across the side. The vehicle is freewheeling, and the wheels are nice and big, and the tires have an excellent tread pattern on them. The rims are nothing special, but I do like them nonetheless because, like everything else on this, they seem very realistic. And because the tires are so big, this thing rolls like a dream. You'll have no problem driving this into battle. And when you get there, you'll have your 50mm cannon to blast at Cobra Hiss tanks while you drop off troop reinforcements. This thing can go all the way around full 360, so nobody's sneaking up on you. Now we're going to go ahead and check out the front of the vehicle, where you can see there's actually an intake system right here on the hood. And that's to keep it out of the water for when it's in boat mode. That way the engine gets plenty of air and it doesn't die. There's also a few stickers. A couple of them are warnings, and they really help add to the detail. The right side of the APC is pretty much identical to the left, all the way down to the stickers. Here on the back of the APC you can see the bumper and then the emergency toolkit. It's got a pickaxe and a couple of different axes. I think this is pretty nice looking. The only way I would have liked it better is if you could have actually removed these and used them. The back bumper is actually a little more than just a bumper. It's actually a handle. You can grab it and pull it out like so, and then this becomes a carrying case, and you can take all your Joes with you. So you could load it up, put like all 28 of your Joes in there, grab this, take it to your buddy's house, and you'd be good to go with a bunch of figures and a cool vehicle. Best carrying case ever. Here's a quick look at the bottom of the APC. I like that they took all the time to mold all the engine details in, the drivetrain, the axles. They didn't have to do that. They could have left it flat and nobody would have even paid attention, but they went the extra mile and it looks pretty sweet. Alright, now we're going to take the roof off of the APC. You want to take these buttons and push them in here and then carefully lift the roof. It's a bit tricky, but it comes off, I promise. There we go. Now you just pop it off and we're going to put this to the side. Now we're going to take the front piece off. You grab right here and it just pulls away like so. There are 2 teeth right here and they fit into 2 grooves here in the front, so it's as easy as popping them in and then just dropping it back down. Here's a better look at that front piece, and you can see all the design work that's molded in here, like the intake system and whatnot. The windshield is 1 sheet of plastic and it covers both holes. Now we're going to take a look at the canvas top, which I think looks pretty good. I mean, you can see the framework right here underneath, and that's what holds up the canvas. But how's the gun working? I never understood that as a kid. It's like when you flip it over, it's just, empty. I always wondered what supported the gun. And then these tabs right here are what keep the figures separated that are standing. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Here's a better look at the gun and all the detail molded around it. Not sure what it is, but it looks pretty cool. And here's a better look at the gun as well, which is one of my favorite pieces of the entire toy. It's a very simple molded piece of plastic, but again, it very much adds to the overall feel of realism that this toy possesses. Here's the driver's seat. As you can see, there's a nice steering wheel as well as some other details on the console. And then right down here on the floorboard, you can see a peg, and that's where you put the action figure's foot, and it's supposed to keep them in the seat. And speaking of keeping them in the seat, there's the seats you put the Joes in, which always reminded me of toilets for some reason when I was a kid. There's also a peg there to keep them in the seat as well, just like the driver. And this middle row is for standing Joes, and that's why there were the dividers on the inside of the canvas roof. Side note, there's a really cool texture on the floor of the APC, and I thought that was above and beyond because it could have just been smooth. Now we're going to take a look at the seat belts that are included with the APC. Yeah, these bars actually go over the legs of the Joes. So on one side you have a peg, and on the other side you have a flat tab. The flat tab goes here in the back, and all you have to do is just kind of peg these in. See, there you go. And we'll just go ahead and do that right now. It's kind of finicky, but if you get it right, it holds the character in pretty good. As you can see, you can shake it all around and they stay still. And by they, I mean they. You can put a lot of Joes in here, as you can see. This is only about 12, but like I said earlier, you can fit 28 in this bad boy. The two seated rows had 8 each. Here in the front, you had a driver and a passenger, that's 2 more. Then down the middle, you could fit 10 Joes, for a total of 28. And when I was a kid, if you had this, you wished you had enough figures to fill it up. Back then, I didn't, but nowadays, I could fill up more than 3 of these easily. Unfortunately, I only have the one. Oh, and you're probably wondering if it floats. Why, yes. Yes, it does. Sorry I had to restrict it to the sink, but it was all I had under short notice. It's pretty cool that it actually floats. You don't have to hold it, you just put it in the water, and there you go. It's a boat. The copyright information for the APC is located on the bottom. 1983 Hasbro, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And now for our He-Man size comparison. While He-Man may be too big for the APC, he totally understands the idea of a troop transport carrying case. After all, Masters of the Universe has the Battle Bones. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my toy retrospective for the Amphibious Personnel Carrier, or the APC, from the 1983 G.I.Joe toy line by Hasbro. I had planned on doing the Vamp before I did the APC and the G.I.Joe line, but for some reason I just decided I wanted to do the APC first. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a thumbs up, and if you have any thoughts, please leave a comment. I love reading and responding to them. And while you're at it, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and it would help my channel grow. I do a retrospective on a toy from my vintage collection every Wednesday, so hope to see you next week and every week after, here on KREED'S Collection.